Well, as you can see, according to the screen here, it would appear that Georgia has gotten a little excited and decided to sue the Biden administration over their health waiver. Again, Georgia sues the Biden administration over health waiver. Georgia has filed a suit against the Biden administration for demanding reinstatement of, let me start with that again. Georgia has filed suit against Biden administration demanding reinstatement of Governor Brian Kemp's health care waiver plan to cover some poor Georgia adults. The waiver, approved in the waning days of the Trump administration, is meant to be a limited response to the Affordable Care Act invitation to states to expand the Medicaid health insurance program to all poor adults. The Kemp administration has estimated that the plan would end up covering perhaps 50,000 of Georgia's poor adults. That's out of perhaps 400,000 that is estimated, and they might have been fully covered by Medicaid expansion. To others, those others would continue to have lack of coverage. Instead of expanding the Medicaid to all of Georgia's poor, the Kemp waiver proposed to expand it only to those who meet certain requirements, those including 80-hour workers, those people who are working 80 hours a month at a registered job or other specified activities. It would not include, for example, taking full-time care of relatives with Alzheimer's, those who are mentally ill but unable or unwilling to go through the long bureaucracy to be federally certified as disabled would also not meet coverage under requirements. Simply put, the Biden administration is obstructing our ability to implement innovative healthcare solutions for more than 50,000 hardworking Georgia families rather than rely on its one-size-fits-none broken system, Kemp said in an emailed statement. The Attorney General, Chris Carrs, filed this suit for Georgia. Courts have ruled that work requirements do not meet the objective of the Medicaid law, which was to provide health coverage. The Kemp administration has argued that the engagement requirement is not a work requirement, and also that Georgia's setup is different than the states who were struck down in the court cases. The Biden administration in December rejected the plan. This is a developing story. Check back to the AJC, which is where we got this story, for more updates. The part that concerns me about this is that this government seems to be overreaching. There's like an overarching, or just reaching oversight continuously, and that's sort of concerning to me. I believe that if we allow precedents to take place where they are more so taking over what the states' rights is, or are, that eventually it's just going to be the federal government, period, which is what I think that they're looking to do. A lot of states are a little bit more tough, Georgia's used to be one of them. I know that Alabama is one, and I'm not so confident about Florida, but I do know that Georgia, it used to be, but Alabama's a little bit different. They sort of go along to get along on occasion, but for the most part, they do stand on their own for a few things. For example, some of the mandates that were rolling out there with some of the employers at the top of last year, as well as the end, it was solidified at the end of last year, mid to end, that they were not going along with all of the mandating of this and mandating of that, that they sort of steered clear of all of it, which is a good thing. But I think that with this right here, I'm sort of curious as to why the Biden administration seems to feel it necessary to really push its will on Georgia. Georgia seems to be the new purple state, where they've turned it completely purple. And I don't think that they turned it purple with permission. Because when I lived there, there were great people who were, completely wanting it to stay red. And again, even if you're not a political person, you would want it to stay, truly red, not haphazard red, not fake red, not, red on paper, and not, red on real sound things. So again, you don't necessarily, frankly, I think that if you are a conservative person, that you would fare better in an area where there were honest red, if that makes any sense. But anyway, this right here just seems to be really weird. So for those of you who are just coming back in, the story says that Georgia has filed suit against the Biden administration demanding reinstatement of Governor Brian Kemp's health care waiver plan to cover some poor Georgia adults. The waiver, approved in the waning days of the Trump administration, is meant to be a limited response to the Affordable Care Act invitation to states to expand the Medicaid health insurance program to all the poor adults. The Kemp administration has estimated that his plan would end up covering 50,000 of Georgia's poor adults. That's out of perhaps 400,000 that it estimates might have been covered by full Medicaid expansion. To those others would continue to lack coverage. Well, I don't know. Instead of expanding the Medicaid to all Georgia's poor, the Kemp waiver proposed to expand it only to those who meet certain requirements. Well, aren't all of them certain requirements? And then the thing that gets me is when you talk about the Affordable Care Act, I don't know if anybody's ever looked into that. But that thing is expensive, and you get like nothing. You get like a shell. You literally get a shell. You would be better off to get your own insurance. Really, you would, because I don't know. It's just really not a lot of good stuff, and they really have like the worst. It really is bad. It's socialist to its core, that care. Now, I have some friends who loved it a few years ago. One just adored it until she didn't have any coverage one year and ended up having to pay a whopping bill for not having insurance. Well, she couldn't afford it. She couldn't even afford to pay for her employer's insurance, and so she was working the best way that she could, trying to connect some dots and trying to, make two ends to the middle meet. And she got a big bill, and then after she got the big bill for her taxes, then all of a sudden she was like, oh, gee whiz, I hate it. But I think that, having lived in Georgia, they do have a lot of crazy rules now that just recently, oh boy. But I will say this, that 50,000 of Georgia's poorest, then that means that poor adults, and that means that they are looking at a specific criteria. And I would say that it would probably be more than 50,000 after a minute, I would hope, especially if people met the criteria. But it does go on to say that it's instead of expanding the Medicaid to all Georgia's poor, the Kemp waiver proposed to expand it only to those who meet the certain requirements. Those included working 80 hours a month. So that means somebody could be part-time, really, because you've got, that's part-time. Those are part-time people. So that's, I don't get what the problem is. I just, maybe it's just me. It said it would not include, for example, taking time to care for a relative with Alzheimer's. Well, okay. All right. I don't really know what they want. I really don't know what, gee whiz, I don't know. So if you're taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's, then we understand that. But a lot of people do. Then wouldn't the person with the Alzheimer's have some type of medical, even if it's the federal medical? I guess. I don't know. I just wonder what it is that they're trying to, what are they begging for now? It just feels like every time you turn around, they're begging for something, or they're begging you to have some type of feelings about it. You know what I'm saying? It is a 24-hour job. We had, my mother-in-law was, rest her soul now, but yes, she was a 24-hour handful. But within the family, we made a way for somebody to be with her at all times. A lot of families may not be like that, but I don't see where, I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't understand how the point of view would even go to that, because isn't it a minor amount of people? Aren't they talking specifically in Georgia about those who need this particular care for themselves? I think that's what they mean, because there's, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know why they're constantly involved in every state's decision. I mean, every single state's decision. Here he comes, you know, muddling around like Mr. Twiggins off of the Carol Burnett show from back in the 70s, slow stepping around trying to, mess with people. I just don't get it. And they've totally destroyed Georgia. Georgia is nothing like what it used to be. I mean, they've totally destroyed it. It is a mess. It's a hotbed of mess. And so whenever I hear them talking about something, it just, I don't know. I don't know. So it says, simply put, the Biden administration is obstructing our ability to implement innovative healthcare solutions for more than 50,000 hardworking Georgia families, rather than rely on the one-size-fits-all broken system, said Kemp. The courts have ruled that work requirements do not meet the objective of Medicaid law, which was to provide health coverage. The Kemp administration has argued that the engagement requirement is not a work requirement, and also that Georgia's setup is different than the states who were struck down in the court cases. I don't know. They are in for just socialism. And the bad part is you don't hear a lot of people really even tell you about some of the nightmares that they're going through with this force-fed healthcare that they're offering. And then it's expensive for what you get. It's very expensive for what you get or you don't get. It's very, very expensive. And I think they just need to back out of this quickly. I don't know. I just wish they would just leave people alone, to be honest. Let's see. We have some comments here. We need Jesus. Hi, guys. Hey, how have you been? Amazing how immigrants coming in doesn't have to jump through hoops for help. Evidently, we have been under a foreign occupation for years. Yep, that is so true. Do you remember a few years ago, how they said that there were people coming in from, and I'm peeling a banana, pardon me, that there were people coming in from different states, countries that literally were coming in and immediately being set down and screened and immediately given Social Security disability. Do you remember that? For those who may not remember it, you may not even believe what I'm saying, but they were literally coming in from other countries and getting Social Security disability. They were. Social Security disability. That's exactly what they were getting. My body, my choice, no vax. God bless you all. Mars Fool's Gold. The Keebler Alps stated that for the new mandates to work, they must provide it in a disruptive and ooh-wee. That fella. Oh, so you're an LPN and you work on the Alzheimer's unit. Well, bless your heart for the work that you do. I know that you're an LPN. I know you shared that with me last week. And I'm so glad to know that they've got a kind person like you, we need Jesus, that's working in that field, because those sweet poor dears really do need it. Now, I will say also that some of them can be a bit cantankerous. Some can be a bit snappy. Ahal says it's politics. The big boys are fighting each other. Who gets to rip the poor off the most? It's about making money, and it's never about the interests of the poor, but they sure do use a lot of poor. You know what I mean? They use a lot of the poor to sort of shove all this on. Sorry, you guys, I'm eating a banana. Ahal says, yes, they have it made. My poor boss has been helping. It looks like his 92-year-old dad with the worst dementia I've seen in my life. It is so sad to see how it really hurts my boss. That is so sad. That is sad. Hey, Leaf Desi, how you doing? That is sad. That is sad. But I just had it with this whole. I can't even call it an administration. I really just call it like a placeholder. It's a placeholder, because this is just a mess. You know what? Let's just take a journey for a second. Let's think about one thing. Let's think about popularity. And let's just be fair about the popularity. We're not going to look at the person or their policies because I need to make a point. Do you remember how popular Obama was? Do you remember how popular he was? You mean to tell me out of all that popularity that this cat got more votes than that cat? I mean, come on now. You got to give it to him. He's a smooth talker. Barack was a smooth talker. You got to give it to him. He's an intelligent cat. You mean to tell me that this cat got more than that cat? Just a question while I eat my banana for lunch. Just a question. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I'm just wondering. I mean, because some things just don't add up. And that has to be one of them for me. It doesn't add up at all. I've been buying emergency kits. Oh, that's good. That's very good. Yep, very good. Smart. I loved him at first. Now he makes me sick. Well, you know, I just have to say, as far as intelligence is concerned, because he was an attorney, right? Did he just go to law school, or was he actually practicing? I don't know. It shows my ignorance about him in its totality. But as an orator, he is a very well put together person. And I just marveled at how they said that this guy here got more votes than that cat. And I didn't even vote for this cat. But I will tell you that when I voted for Barack Obama, I did. You guys may have already heard me say this. At first, I was going for the little guy with the arms. Rest his soul. And this goes to show you how ignorant I was then. But I was going for that cat until he pulled out Palin, the lady from Alaska, the one who could see Russia from her front porch or whatever. He pulled her out of his hat, and I said, "Whoo, gotta go." And then I voted for Barack Obama. And after I voted for him, like that first couple of months, I was like, "Ooh, Father, forgive me. What have I done?" Because I was starting to listen to some of the rhetoric, and then I saw him doing a couple of things on TV, and I said, "Oh, wait a minute." I said, "Wait a minute. I done made a mistake. Yeah, because I'm over here right now. You might need to create an account, Marty. I know that Rachel did. As soon as I leave here, I'm going to go over there. But I thought this was an interesting story. Yeah. So, you know, then I voted for him. And after I voted for him, I was like, yikes, I made a mistake. So then the next time it came time to vote for him, I didn't vote for him. And then obviously after that, the next time to vote was for, in 2016. And I voted for, the outgoing guy this past time. And then I got to see some of the stuff he was dealing with. And of course I wasn't voting for the other person, but now the other person is apparently coming back this time. Here's Johnny. Oh boy, if you guys want to come over and join us in the next 15 minutes, it'll actually be at 2:15. You guys are welcome to. You guys can join us on Blog Talk Radio, and what you'll be able to do is listen, or you can dial the number and you can call in. You can either listen by dialing the number, or you can call in. And let me give you that information right now so that you have it. And it's you can dial it from your telephone and listen. And then if you elect to, call us, you got something you'd like to say, well, you can do that too. You can call in by dialing area code 515-602-9746. Again, the number is 515-602-9746. We are talking about standard, this is our Friday meetup, and we are talking about standard news today. Just what's going on in the news. I've got a couple of things that I'd like to ask questions about, and that is all of the closures in New York. all of the prison closures in New York. And then I want to talk about the fact that they've removed the legislation for prison encampments, as it were, to put people away if they don't follow suit with X, Y, or Z. And you know what the X, Y, or Z is. So if you want to call in for the show, you are definitely welcome to. I'm transitioning right now over there so that you guys will have it. Let me give you that. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Marty. Marty's got it. So there is the guest call in. But I just thought that I would bring that to your attention, that good old Biden administration is being sued by Georgia over the health waiver, as if it was any of their business. As if it was any of their business. I don't see how any of this is their business, but okay. All right, you guys. So if you want to join me and you want to call and you want to talk, or you want to just listen at length with the news, please do so. Okay? All right. You guys take care. Remember what we always say, that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves and take care of one another. Until we see each other again, please continue to